Hi everybody, it's Andy again. So just leading on from the last video of the painting I've been doing, which is Piccadilly Gardens at night. So if you look at my previous videos and have a look at them ones where I've actually done the painting itself. So I'm just leading on today, and I'm going to be doing the characters and inking today. So went out before Christmas with my mate Mark and loved the area and took loads of photos of Piccadilly Gardens at night. Shown in my previous video, so there's a picture that I've done, pieced it together, and of Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester where the fountains are. So I'm doing I've done the painting of the fountains, which I've done in my previous videos, so you can have a look at that. So that's the painting I've done. It's all dry now, and I'm going to be on the stage now of how I do my characters on here. Okay, so, and what I'll show you how I bring my characters to life by the use of the croquis method that I do my style. Now what I mean by the croquis method is, it's in the dictionary, it's like a sketch, quick flowing style. So I put my paint down and let it all dry, and then I'll do the inking with a rotary ink pen, which is what draftsmen use or used to use, and I put them down in a free flowing style, so it's an automatic way, so that each character is going to be completely different. So that's what I'm going to do. Now it's New Year's Day now, and I stayed up last night to watch the New Year celebrations of the London Eye with all the fireworks, and one of my favourite bands was on Madness. That's when I was so it was like a band from my childhood, and they saw out the old year and brought it in the new year. And I can guess you can say that last year was a bit of madness for me as well. So with all the stress that I've been going through and mad things that were happening to me in my life, I thought it was a fitting tribute to the end of the year for me. So, like I say, lots of positive things are lined up for me this year, and I'm going to be looking forward for what is going to happen in the future and store for me and my family. So, like I say, I've got quite a few things in the pipelines this year. Hopefully we'll be able to share it with you in the future on my blog. I've just set up a blog today. I don't know what it's about, social media, but I'm going to have a go and see where it takes me this year. So yeah, I've got to set my blog up, so if you check out andrewalanmatthews.co.uk, I've got a blog that I'm starting up on this website as well now. Okay, so like I say, got my rotary pen, and I'm going to be showing you how I actually produce my characters. Now, the paintings that I do, they're for enjoyment, painting for enjoyment, and it helps kind of relieve my stress really by doing this. And the way I do it now, because I used to work in the textile design industry as a paid for commercial design separation artist, and the actual art itself that we produced was designs that came in from designers from all over, from loads of different companies all around the UK, and we used to reproduce all the designs for the companies. Like, I don't know, we used to get designs in from like Recteller, Sanderson's, Liberty Designs, all the major high street brands, and we used to reproduce them ready to go on to rotary screen printing or copper roller printing. It was a really good career that I enjoyed doing. Like I said, I had a lot of stress in the last year of my career, and I ended up having to leave. I've kind of been went to university, studied textile, BA Honours textile degree at Manchester Metropolitan University, and thoroughly enjoyed it. But I went through a lot of stress at the time, and when I was obviously with losing my career in art, and friends and family passed away, and just had a huge tsunami of stress, and ended up trying to top myself when I was at university. So I struggled through university. I lost my voice with all my stress and anxiety back then. So yeah, I wasn't able to put 100% into my university at the time, and I kind of struggled. I lost my voice for about, I'd say, a couple of years really, and I struggled with trying to do presentations in university and all sorts of things, and yeah, I think with all the stress it affected my voice, my speech. So yeah, you can say I've got the t-shirt. As you can see, I'm wearing this Positive B t-shirt now. That's all part of my recovery from stress, and which is why I've set this website up and these video diaries that I'm doing to try and help me and also help people along the way as well of overcoming stress. Because stress is, you can't eliminate stress. Stress is out there all the time, you know, and it depends on how you can deal with it. It's like the fight or flight process, where it's a natural process. Stress, you know, like it's like if you're in your car and you're driving along, and you see something happening, and you have to react to with emergency, and that's the fight or flight process, which enables you to react to a stressful event. But when too much stress comes along, it can have a negative effect on you, which I've obviously gone through over the years. Now, I suppose my art, in a way, is I've been in lots of careers over my life, and majority of my life has been in call centres, really, for various companies. Some companies are better than others, and how they help you with dealing with your stress. Now, I've said it on my previous videos, but I've got my work stress collection that I compiled when I was in a call centre environment many years ago, and it was a kind of a bit of a rebellious painting, which is and collection. There's seven paintings in the collection of my work stress collection, and the one that is essential to it is called "I Am Not a Number," and it's with a big question mark to saying, are you a number or are you not a number? And that's a big question in life, really, you know, that you go through. A big question that people ask nowadays is one of the biggest questions that faces man, I suppose, is, are you a number or are you not a number? And I guess with this video diaries that I'm doing, I'm trying to overcome my stress, and by doing my artwork in the way I do it, that I've developed this artwork over many years, and it's kind of helped me get over my stress, because I don't have to think what I'm doing, and it's like a free-flowing style, and it just comes naturally to me. Like I say, I can talk and do this at the same time as well. So I'm a man. I can't multitask like most men. I think it's probably a bit of a, you know. So this is a kind of free-flowing style. So the way like on my previous videos, I've shown you the way of doing my painting in a free-flowing style. I just allow the paint to talk for itself, really, and create something pleasing with the eye. Now, like I say, with this way I'm doing it now, I'm just getting on with doing the buildings with me inking, creating windows in each of the buildings, and you know, I don't do things accurately to the actual picture that I've taken, because the picture is like a guide again. Like when I do my sketches, it's just a guide for allowing the paint to do the talking, and the inking to do the talking as well. So I don't do it accurately. Like I say, that picture of Piccadilly Gardens is when I was walking through, I thought I was mesmerised by the actual fountain itself, because it was it was changing colours all the time with different light effects and that. And I thought it was bloody brilliant, and I just wanted to capture that feeling of Manchester in a modern way. Like I said in my previous videos, I get my inspiration from Lowry's characters, and this is what I've kind of done and developed my style in it in a modern way that I do it. It's not being prescriptive, and it's about enjoyment and enjoying what you do and being free flowing, so that you're not stressed out. Because when I was in the textile design industry, I was like I say, paid for commercial design separation artist, and we'd reproduce designs, and you had to be exact. You couldn't detract from the actual design itself, and you had to be spot on with it. And if you've ever seen Liberty designs, they're very small designs, and they're very detailed, lovely designs, and they're very expensive as well. That's because of the amount of time that used to be put into them, and the designer who designs these designs is really good at it. So we used to reproduce that, but the design itself, because it was going on cloth, you had to do like what they call a tolerance for the design. So you have to do it finer. So if you get like a line with this pen, you have to do it finer with a tolerance, so that when the dispersal of ink comes out, it goes to the size of the actual ink. They had to work all that out. So it was very detailed, and it kind of didn't allow me to express my art in my own way. And this art that I've done, I've done various types of works. I've done photorealistic artworks, I've done still lifes, I've done nudes, I've done loads of different types of art over the years. And I guess like Lowry, because Lowry, he kind of chose to paint in his style, and that's what I'm doing. I'm choosing to paint in my style because this is what I feel comfortable with, and it helps relieve my stress. So this is why I paint this way. It's like helps me relieve my stress, and it's when you're applying the paint on the canvas, it's like soothing to me, because the way I do it, it's a free flowing style. You're not worried about every slight little detail about it, so you're not worrying about what you're putting down, but you're making a nice pleasing painting. And kind of what I'm trying to do is trying to represent Manchester and modern Manchester today. So that's what my art's about, is because I do Manchester, sort of lived in Salford for 18 years. I've been in Manchester, Moss Side, grew up in Moss Side, and I said I did a nostalgic artwork collection of Moss Side, so we call it Moss Side Nostalgia Collection. And that got bought up by a private collector, and that kind of it tells a story of my childhood, and if you ever get a chance on my website, it's on there, the last page is on my website. It tells a story of my life as a kid with my mates and everything, and it was like when kids were being kids. And it's a kind of a nostalgic of Manchester really, and Salford and Moss Side. So yeah, and like I say, when Lowry was in his era, it was all industrialised, all the cotton mills and smoking chimneys and muted greys and all the rest of it. And back in his era, he was depicting Salford and Manchester scenes as it was seen in his eyes at the time. And this is kind of what I'm trying to do now, is I'm trying to show Manchester, Salford, London, and of what it's like in modern times today. And that, by doing that, I'm doing it by bringing my darks and lights together, I do a lot of night scenes now because I'm able to bring them darks and lights together and highlighting colours that are coming through at night. And I don't use oils. I can't really do oils. Well, it's not that I can't do it, but I've not really tried it. But I do acrylics because the type of paint is nice and fluid, and I can get the style that I want from what I'm doing. And it's like I say, what I'm doing now, I'm adding the actual windows in. I'm just concentrating on the actual windows to try and get a bit of depth. Now, also when I was in textiles, I guess from this croquis method that I use, I kind of got the inking idea through that as well, because a lot of designs at the time when I was a design separation artist, lots of designs had lots of lines like this, and it was, so I kind of got the idea from that as well. So it's kind of building on what I'm doing, and like I say, it's a nice free flowing style. You feel relaxed, you don't feel tense when you're doing it in my style. Whereas, like I say, when I was in that industry, or even when I was doing some of my paintings are very detailed, and they take a lot of effort to actually get a nice painting, like I've done, like tigers and portraits and things. I think I've done a few portraits, and it takes a very long time, and you got to be exact and, you know, really detailed. There's definitely an art to doing portraits. I can do them, and I can probably do them better than they have done as well, but I choose to paint in this style because it helps with my stress, basically, and it helps me overcome my stress. And I think if anybody wants to give this a try, I'd recommend it. I mean, each person's individual. Some people have OCD and it might not suit their style because it might go against their style, but it might be worth having a try at it, and because it is very relaxing. I find it very relaxing anyway, doing it this way, and it's very pleasing that once you've done it you can stand back and look at it. You might add a bit more to it or whatever, but it's a nice and pleasing style. On this one. So I think, you know, I've got some, it's like I say, it's New Year's Day now, and like I say, it's start of a New Year's. That last year for me was pretty stressful. My dad being in having dementia and Alzheimer's and in the care home, it really upset me. And seeing my dad in that way, it's not, you know, so it's for me, you know, this is kind of a getting away from and trying to deal with my stress in a way, really. Like I say, I love my dad to bits. He's a big inspiration for me. I've got so many stories to tell you about my dad as well, but he's just a character. He's like in the care home now, and all the people in the care home, they love him to bits. You know, he's always looking on the bright side of life. You know, even though he goes through all his illnesses, he's still looking on the bright side of life. You know, and I really don't know how he does it. You know, so I kind of take a leaf out of my dad's book now, and try and be positive with everything you do. You know. Because I suppose that's all you can do, really, you know. If you can, like, sit there festering, because I've done it myself in the past. I've sat there at home years ago, and didn't go out for months, and I was that stressed out, and it was just, you get into a spiral of negativity. It's like you get in a negative cycle in a way, and you kind of fester on yourself, and you know, by doing that makes you even more unwell. So, like I say, back in '96, I tried to top myself, and because I was doing that, I was sat in the house, I was festering on everything. I couldn't get out. I was just worried about absolutely everything. Like, I've had a few breakdowns over the years. I tried to come off my tablets. Just shit seems to hit the fan when I come off my tablets. This kind of the same I applied this year. I've been off now for 8 months now. I'm hoping to get back to work very shortly, because I'm back on track now. This time around, I wasn't festering in the house. I was getting out and about, been doing things, been doing loads of really positive things. A few of the positive things that are on the pipeline is that I'm hoping, well, I know the United Union are looking for, wanting to use my artwork, presentation to help people with stress very shortly this year. So I've got an interview lined up with a company about, we're talking about all my stress, and the art gallery are interested in now, who were sending me artwork through, they're interested in wanting to promote my work. So things this year are looking really positive for me now. This t-shirt, it's a Manchester everyday superhero, because you're all superheroes, all you workers. That's what this represents. It's a worker bee in Manchester, and it's just about being an everyday superhero, because I think that's what you guys are, and me. Yeah. You know, we're all superheroes at the end of the day. Do we getting on with the battle of life? So yeah, loads of positive things are coming up this year, and I'm hoping they turn out really positive for me. You know, because I've got to start with me first, and then moving on from there, trying to help people, I think. And I'm hoping that this video is helping people, because it's been a big thing for me coming out, because I've hidden all my stress for decades, and it's a kind of a big thing for me coming out, talking about my stress. So anyway, this Piccadilly Gardens, it's actually steeped in a lot of history, Piccadilly Gardens. Now, so like, before 1755 the area was water-filled, clay pits called the daub holes, and the Lord of the Manor donated the site, and the pits were replaced by a fine ornamental pond. That was back in 1755, and also in 1755 the Manchester Royal Infirmary was built there, and the street it stood on was called Levers Row. Now in 1763 the Manchester Royal Lunatic Asylum was built next to the Manchester Royal Infirmary. Well, I can guess you say, you know, I've got a bit of experience. I won't say I'm a lunatic, and I think that's how they used to phrase things back then, lunatic asylum. You used to think that anybody with a slight burden on the different, then they were locked away, and a bit like Van Gogh in a way, he was locked away. One of my artists I do like is Van Gogh. He was locked away, and thinking he was a bloody nutter, but probably just needed a bit of help, you know what I mean, back in the day. But these lunatic asylums, they probably did all sorts of things, like they do electric shock therapy, bloody lobotomise you, all sorts of bloody things, you know. And thankfully that doesn't happen today, because I guess they probably would have lobotomised me years ago. Some of the, with me. So, but yeah, they used to stand on there, the lunatic asylum. And in 1910, the Manchester Royal Infirmary men moved to its current site on Oxford Road in 1908. And the sunken garden was a remnant of the hospital's basement. Now, I've got a picture somewhere. Let's have a look. There's a picture. There you go, there's a picture of me in Piccadilly Gardens when it was a sunken garden there, and it was all full of bloom in Manchester. It was a bit of a haven back then, and so that was like the remnants of the when they demolished the Royal Infirmary and the lunatic asylum. Now, like I say, that's what that was, and they redeveloped. Now it was redeveloped in between 2001 and 2003, Piccadilly Gardens, and it was a cost of £100 million with the water feature, which is this one. This is what I'm painting now, and also a concrete pavilion. It was all designed by a Japanese architect called Tado Ando, and the concrete pavilion was dubbed as the Berlin Wall by locals. You can see why. It's dubbed as the Berlin Wall. So I think a designer, maybe that's Ando again, to have a look at it, that Berlin Wall, and see what else you can do nice with it. Maybe not demolish it, but just do something a bit more pleasing to the eye.